So is she saying that? Is she saying that if the man is paying all the bills and doing all that stuff, then these are the things the woman should be doing? Is that what she's saying?
She said you should be doing it anyway, but I promise you, she looked like she didn't have a job.
Oh Lord! But now relationship.
Well, I agree with you, Cindy. If I don't have to work, I would take care of the house. But if I'm getting up, going to work every morning at 5:00, I'm not doing everything around the house by myself. I do feel like everything should be split up. But she didn't put it like that. It was like, if you have a man, period.
Where was she from?
Yeah, because some
South America.
In some places, that is what's expected. That the woman is going to do everything, including getting out and working. It just depends on where you're from.
America. She was from America. We clown. She was from here.
Emily said that's why it's a joint effort.
Because
if we're both living in this space, we both need to take care of this space. Period.
Period.
Yep.
Period.
I mean, I ideally, that's the way it's supposed to be. But I think we all know people that are coming from situations where they're not only working, they may even be working longer than their spouse in terms of actual hours on the job, and still there's an expectation when you come home, where's dinner, where are all the other things that you talked about earlier. So again, it gets back to expectations. What, when you were dating this person, did you know at that point in time that this is the way they are? Because I'm sure there were certain signals and certain things that were going on. There's always a sign that sometimes we choose not to acknowledge. So I mean, it's not always. Where the hell did this come from? There's normally always a sign that something sideways is amiss. Because even think about it.
That's very true.
We gotta pay attention to those. We have to pay attention. We have to pay attention to those signs.
Sure.
If your fiance comes over to your house and you guys are having lunch together and you see that he leaves the table and go into the front room, grab the remote control and start watching football, and he left his plate on the table and that same cup on the table, and then when he sit down, he asks you, "Hey, babe, can you bring me something to drink?" But I'm looking at your table. I just fixed you a meal, and your plate and your cup is still on this table, and you moved, but you didn't move to the sink to put your cup and plate in the sink.
I got a question though. I got a question though. If he don't do that, does that cause you to get an attitude?
It's not about an attitude. What it is it's an indication of how he does things. This is an indication of how he does things. Thus, there should be no surprises when you marry him that he do not take his plate and his cup off the table after you feed him. He didn't ask to wash the dishes. He didn't ask to dry the dishes. And he got his butt on that couch and grabbed the remote. Now, at this moment, you need to press pause.
Because you cook and you want him to clean.
Because you need to press pause.
Because you cook and you want him to go clean up what you cook, right?
It's not about that. It's about what you want as an individual. Baby, you know what? This is how I like things. Do you normally do that? Or baby, would you mind, like say if we took this to another level, would you be the type of person that would, if I cook a meal, you help me wash them? Or if I wash the dishes, would you put them up? Or would you at least get your clear the table when I finish cooking? That's when you press pause. Like
Floyd say that's basically not on the woman. That's basically come from your upbringing. However you was brought up, you should know that. Exactly.
Yeah,
but some men, they don't. They don't do that. And if they've been bachelors for 30 years or 20 years, they might be used to doing that. But that does not mean they're not willing to be flexible and accommodate you should you go to the next level. But again, this should not be a surprise when we get married. This should not be a surprise. Girl, he don't never take his cup and stuff off the table. Girl, he don't never. We didn't have that
conversation. Go back to that representative. Go back to the representative.
Yep.
We too grown. I just feel like most of us, we're just too grown to have certain surprises in our relationship at this stage in the game. I need to know, like, I don't want to bring it up, but I need to know that you clean your tail. You got good hygiene. I mean, you get in and out of the car. You need to smell fresh when you taking a seat. When you talking up close and personal. When you giving me a kiss on the mouth, how your breath smelling? What we doing today, babe? I need to know. I need to know that you are a type of person that keep a job and work a job and don't mind working a job. You don't mind buying me trinkets. There's certain things we should be paying attention and having real life conversations. Our world should not consist of Instagram thirst traps, Facebook thirst traps, to the point where we don't even know what reality is. We think that everybody look a certain way or do a certain thing. We are all grown. We're in our latter chapters of life. We should not be having some surprises, should not be. Now, bad habits happen. People switch up. They have hormonal changes. They go through midlife crisis. Men do too. But there are some things that should not be an element of surprise because we didn't press pause on all the goodness to say, hey, we need to have a real conversation. I'm liking you. I'm feeling some type of way about you. I'm vibing with you. I like the way you smell. I like the way you take care of me. I like the way you work that job. I like how we
real quick before we go any further. Somebody want to know, what is a thirst trap?
That thirst trap is when that man be up on that Instagram and the women be like, imagine ain't no clothes under here.
What is that? What does that mean?
Yeah,
a thirst trap, right? I was like, somebody wants to know what a thirst trap is.
Because it's too many men is caught up in these thirst traps. They didn't forgot about real relationships. Everybody girls don't sit up like that. Okay, everybody don't have Brazilian butt lips.
But again, Sammy,
okay,
it goes back. It goes right.
I'm here. Good morning.
That's right. It goes back to when you first meet that person, right? I mean, for example, all right, you're in the club when you first meet that person, right?
Just gonna gloss over that Brazilian thing,
right?
That's a red flag already.
Right, and they start walking towards you, right? So here they come.
Okay,
they're walking towards you. So
they walking.
Yeah, so this a big person coming towards you, right? This a big person, right? So you already know what you're dealing with, and you said looks at everything, right? So here's another clue that you're dealing with something you may not want to take home, right? When he or she goes to talk to you, right? Here you go, right? So you're dealing with something crazy, right? Sammy?
Oh my goodness!
Otherworldly, but relationships have taken on when people started getting together to get married. Way back when it started, it wasn't about all this emotional attachment, connection, and all that stuff started because it was about keeping power and money in the family. That's why folks was marrying in the family.
Exactly.
Yep.
Back in the day, that's why people got married.
They married your sister.
With 3 kids and
that's right.
Your second cousin twice removed.
That's right. Your cousin.
Yep. They're keeping the money and they having to spend it on doctors.
This is my cousin. Yeah.
Over the last 50 years or so,
that's right.
It can be about emotions, and you have to respect feelings and all that Tom Cruise crap that sounds good in the movie. You complete me. Last thing I need is an incomplete rascal in my life. How did you don't need nobody. You complete me. That sounds real good, but that shiggity ain't no fun. Ain't no fun. So, you want somebody to be, you want two as whole as possible individuals coming together to make a team.
But remember, if you have a arranged marriage, they had like 2 or 3 girlfriends that lived around the corner. So,
if you got an arranged marriage, I mean, that's they had those. Some of those that stuff is already picked before they get out there. They're like, you marry him, and that is the way it's going to be. And that is it. So we disown you. We put you out the house.
And they already gave me cash check and credit card. You already paid for it. Cash check and credit card.
Yes.
So ain't no backing up, no refund.
That's it. That is all. But here's the other thing. So suppose you were raised a certain way and you do things and you used to like to do things do you stop doing them when you get into the relationship just because? I mean, like if it's been your way to cook and clean and that brings you a certain level of peace, whether you're male or female, man or woman, doesn't matter in the relationship, do you stop doing it just because you're in this relationship now and you want that person to pick that up, or what? What do you do? I mean, do people keep it real, or do they just say, oh, I'm in a relationship now, I ain't got to do this no more, so I ain't going to do it, because some folks do that. Some people change, Well,
how you feel about that, Jay? You think you should keep it up or just be like, this is what it is?
I think that you should always be yourself. If you came into the relationship, and that's why it's important to develop a friendship, and it's important to have a lot of communication just to find out how that person was brought up. Because in my family, my grandmother and my mother always taught me is you need to learn how to do these things for yourself. Cook, clean, know how to sew your clothes and those type of things, so you don't have to depend on a woman to do those things for you. But I will say that some people, they get too comfortable.
Right.
Yeah,
they fall into it. They fall out of what they used to do and fall into this other thing, and then let's not even.
Have you ever thought about
the bags that people bring?
Have you ever thought about maybe people don't fall out into what they used to do, but maybe because it's twice as much, especially if you have blended families, or even if it's just two grown adults. Instead of washing that little one load I'm used to, now I'm washing 3 loads. Instead of cooking for one person, I'm cooking for 3, 4, 5, or 6 people. Those are things that happen. It's not because somebody is switching up. It's because the dynamic has changed. And that's why it's so important to communicate with who you with and be grown about it. You know what I'm saying? And when I'm saying be grown about it, it's like, hey, babe, I used to do X, Y, and Z. I'm fine. I'm real tired because y'all eating up a lot of groceries. The grocery bill went up too. A lot of things change when you come together. And if you're not communicating, but saying, you know what, you was washing dishes, you was so-and-so, you're going to keep on keeping what you been doing. Ain't no switching up. It's not a switch up. It's that the family dynamics have changed. And so now I might need your help, or we need to determine what this looks like. Because I bet you one thing, you know what? You don't want things to switch up in the chambers. You don't want it to switch up in there.
But what if I got OCD and I'm used to doing what I've been doing? What if I can't handle the switch up? What we do then?
That's the conversation you guys need to have.
What you mean by you can't handle the switch up? You can't handle things being a certain way that's not right.
I'm used to doing what I'm normally doing. And so now halfway through, we want to change the roles. So how does that look? Like what if I can't handle the change? Like I have OCD. I know I have it. It's hard for me to change up in the middle of what I'm doing already. So how do that conversation come about?
You obviously not going to switch up then, because let me tell you something. This is something that people need to realize. If you've been doing something for 30 years, you're going to keep doing that for 30 years. You ain't going to just switch up because you happy married. Happy married don't make you all of a sudden. It doesn't.
I disagree.
I am not talking about habit. I'm talking about character. That's 2 different things. I'm not talking about habit.
Character changes up after you guys get comfortable as well.
Ooh.
Well, you know what? Sometimes character switches up based on. Let me tell you something. If you normally are optimistic.
So I got a question. Can a man be too independent for a woman? Per Brian, he wants to know that.
See, I'm a different type of breed. Let me tell you something.
Oh Lord, you mean
what that mean?
I think we knew that. I think we figured that out.
What that mean? See me so real. You're a different type of breed.
So look, she said she biting her lip for a minute. Look, here we go.
She's paused.
First of all,
can a man be too independent?
What do that mean? You mean that mean he do what he want to do sometime on the weekends, or he likes to clean up his way, or because let me tell you something.
That means
this is what I believe.
That means he wants everything his way, and there's nothing that you can do or a female can do to change the habits that he already got. So now it can become offensive to the female because they're used to cleaning a certain way, and now this man is accustomed to his way of doing things.
Okay.
Well, I think that. Well, that's when you guys